Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter of class 10th NCERT book, that is classification of elements. Okay, so we have started this chapter. Then I started the chapter by explaining the definition and the concept of this classification, means why it is so important to classify the things. So we have to study about the classification of elements. So why this is so important, that there are and why it is known as this periodic classification? Because classification means it is a way by which you are arranging the things. You are arranging the things in such a manner that it becomes easy for you all to understand, easy for the people to understand what kind of elements are present. So there are means the states of matter could be of three types. It could be either compound, it could be elements, it could be compounds, or it could be the material could be of the elements. Okay, so what do you mean by the elements? Elements have the atoms of similar kind, and if many atoms are going to join, different types of atoms are going to join, they are going to form compound. And then if we are talking about the different kinds of the mixtures, so mixtures could also be there, that could also contain different types of atom, but they are not chemically combined. They are simply combined with the physical properties. Okay, they are combined with their physical properties. Now next thing which we discussed was the different types of classification, why it is there. So classification is means classification has to take place, need of classification. So what was the need of classifying the things? As I told you that there are about 118 elements now. So if we have to study all the elements, study the properties of all the elements, so how could we study it? So if we are classifying the things, it is making the things in order, come in order. Now when we need to study the things, it becomes easy for us to understand what are the properties, what are the nature, what are the different types of the different ways by which you could understand the properties of these types of elements. Okay, next thing what we need to study was the different what is actually the different types of classification which has taken place till now. So we have discussed about two classifications. So first was the Daubernier triads, where Daubernier is a chemist who has given the first very basic concept of classifying the things. So the basic concept of his classification was based upon the fact that there are three elements in a periodic table which contains whose properties are actually related. So how they are interrelated? It is being interrelated just because he has taken in consideration of the first physical property, the first property, that was the atomic masses. So he arranged the atoms, he arranged the elements in the form of the increasing order of their atomic masses, and then he found that three elements, means there are three elements that could be grouped together, in which the atom of the middle element, okay, the atom of the middle element is having the mass number is there. So if we are going to calculate the average of the first and the third element, then we could find that the mass of the middle element, that would be approximately equal to the atomic masses of the first and the third element. Okay, so next thing which we need to consider was the next type of classification. So the next type of classification was it was the Newland's law of octaves. Now what is this octave? He also, when Daubernier triads were already being told, so there were different scientists who were also studying about the elements, who were also studying about the physical and the chemical properties of these elements. So they also started finding out the other facts, other relationships between the different types of elements. So they also took now they have got a base, as Daubernier has given, as he has given that the atomic masses have certain relationships. So the atomic masses was also the basic concept which was taken by this Newland, and now the Newland also has started finding out the relation between these elements, and he found that he has taken the relationship of the different relationship of the the musical notes actually. So he has means he compared his study with the notes of music. Okay, so he found that every eighth element, means first and the eighth element's property is very much similar. So when the property of first and the eighth element is matching, it means that he established a relationship between these elements. Okay, so he has classified about 56 elements. Okay, then he saw that the first and the eighth element property is going to match, it is similar. Okay, so he found that this property of first and the eighth element is similar, and the part of his classification where Newland's octaves, Newland octave is also shared in your book that I have drawn it yesterday, and we found that whenever the octaves are being drawn, these octaves are going to be repeated. It means there is first and the eighth element is having the similar property. Fine. Next, so this is known as the Newland's law of octaves, where the atomic masses or the properties of the elements are also going to match with the first element. It means if there are elements, so we can find that there is a relationship between the masses, atomic masses actually, they are relating, the first and the eighth element is related. Okay, now next thing is that now it was found that octaves. Okay, so musical notes that we have just discussed it yesterday, and please remember that how this has been classified and how or what kind of example, means which example he has taken. The example which he has taken is of the musical notes. Okay, now next there are certain limitations. Actually, he found that the laws of octaves were only applicable till calcium. So what is the demerit of this octaves? As the discovery was still going on and the elements were discovered day by day, it was increasing. Now he found that there are certain limitations in this Newland's law of octaves. So what are these limitations? So what was the limitation? Limitation was that this Newland's law was only applicable till calcium. Okay, it was applicable till calcium. After that, he was not able to found any kind of similarities in the properties. Okay, now he found that the law of octaves was only applicable up to calcium, and after calcium every eighth element do not possess the properties similar to that of the first. So the first point, the very basic concept was that the basics regarding this classification was that first and the eighth element should match. Now what happens after calcium? This was matching till calcium, but after calcium this was not following the law. So when it was not following the law, we could understand that this is not going to work. So this Newland's law of octaves started means it was not applicable to all the elements. So this was the very first demerit of this classification. Now next thing is that it was assumed by Newland that only 56 elements are there. So the second property was that there are only 56 elements. So this was very difficult to understand that only 56 elements were only present. So he assumed that there are in total 56 elements are there, but still the discoveries were going on, and when the elements were started increasing after 56, then again the properties also mismatched. So because of these types of assumptions, you could say that that is why this Newland law of octaves was not able to decide, it was not able to discuss about, or it was not able to be firm with its findings. So this was the second demerit, that he assumed that only 56 elements are present now, and now no more elements would be discovered in future. But later on, several new elements were discovered whose properties did not fit into the law of octaves. Okay, so this law of octaves was still not being able to find, he was not able to prove the very basic fact of his finding, that was the 8 element properties are going to match, just because there was increase in the number of the elements day by day. Next is that in order to fit the elements in his table, Newland adjusted 2 elements in the same slot. Okay, so as I have given yesterday, I have drawn that diagram of the part of his table, where you can see that in very first column it was hydrogen, fluorine, chlorine, then cobalt and nickel. This was added to very first, and bromine. Okay, so this was added, the 2 elements were added in the same slot. So this was group A. Okay, this was group A, where he found that when 2 elements are also being matched with, if their properties are matching, so it was put in the same slot, which again created a confusion. So when the properties are similar, where if it is having different atomic mass, then how can it be possible that 2 elements are going to be present in the same slot? So this was the very next problem in his finding. In order to fit the elements in the table, Newland adjusted 2 types of elements in the particular slot, but he also put unlike elements under the same, that nickel. Can you find some examples, which were given in this table? Okay, so you can see that there are many. So one pair is here, and in the fourth group again you could see that cesium and the lanthanum was having the same property. So this was added in the same group. Okay, now what happens if it is present in the same group? These are having different properties, but still it was added in the same. So we could see that the cobalt and the nickel are of same, they are present at the same slot. This one, cobalt and nickel, this was present at the same salt. Now they are having, but they are placed in the same column as of fluorine, chlorine and bromine, which were very different properties of this element. So if we consider this chlorine, fluorine and bromine, so nickel and cobalt cannot be adjusted over there, as you know that these are the inert gases. So as there was less knowledge at that time, means they were under process, the knowledge was under processing regarding this classification, and later on he found that these are known as the inert gases, but still he has kept this nickel and cobalt pair also in this very first slot. So this became again a limitation of Newland's law of octaves. Okay. Now next thing which was to be discussed was that we can see that similarly the iron, which resembles to cobalt and nickel properties, has been placed far of these elements. So we can see that this cobalt and nickel has the very similar property to that of the iron, but still this iron was placed very far off in the Newland's law of octaves. Okay, so that table was also not going to give you the complete information regarding these types of elements. So again it became a limitation of his classification, that when the elements are having different types, different forms of properties, so how can it be placed in the same column? So this became a flaw. This became the limitation of Newland law of octave. Okay. Now the Newland law of octaves were only dealing well with the lighter elements. Okay. So it was only applicable till calcium. So this was not being able to classify the elements. Okay, so heavier elements, it was only applicable for the lighter element. It was not being applicable to all the elements which were present at that time. So he made an assumption that only the 56 elements are present, and that was a very basic problem regarding this classification. So this classification also stopped. I mean, this was not being applied to all the other elements. Okay, so this was the problem. Now next thing which we will discuss is the next form of periodic table, next classification of periodic table, which will be about the next form, the next form of the classification was given by another scientist, that is the Mendeleev's periodic table. This is Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so he gave an idea regarding this his periodic table. Now let us find out about the properties of this Mendeleev's periodic table. Okay, so what is the concept of his form of classification? So let us find out. So even after the rejection of Newland's law of octaves, many scientists continued in the search of the same pattern and correlated the properties of the atomic masses. Now see, as I told you that this is known as, why this is known as periodic classification, because in different times also, in the different scientists who were there, they were finding out the different types of the connections between the elements. So as see, the very first connection was brought by the Dauvergne scientist. So he found that the pair of three elements is having the similar properties. They are somehow interrelated. So that gave a basis. Now after that, Newland became the next scientist who has found out the next establishment, which was again based upon the atomic masses, increasing order of their atomic masses, that these atomic masses are going to be, if they are arranged in increasing order, so we will find that the first and the eighth element's property is matching. Now next scientist was also this Mendeleev, who was the next scientist. So he found that whenever there is, means there is certain relationship between the properties. Okay, now what is the relationship between these properties? So he again established the basis. The basis again remained the same, which was based upon the atomic masses. Okay, so this was based upon atomic masses. Now what happens? The main credit for classifying elements goes to this Mendeleev, that is Russian chemist. He was a very important contributor to the early development of this periodic table elements, where the elements were arranged on the basis of fundamental properties. Now the atomic mass and also the similarities of the chemical properties. So he has taken two things now. The first consideration was based upon this atomic masses and also based upon their chemical properties. So if we go on, if we move back and we just see the limitation of this Newland's law, that it was based only upon the atomic mass. He has ignored the chemical properties as two elements were placed in one slot. So that became the basis, that became again the concept for finding out the next level of classification, that was again given by this Mendeleev, and he found that the chemical properties also play a very important role in finding out, in taking out the different different types of the for classifying the elements actually. Okay, so he has taken two concepts. He took two concepts, which two concepts of atomic mass, and second one was the chemical properties. He didn't ignore the chemical properties. So the chemical properties, when it was again in the concept now, so he was very easily able to relate the things, and that was the very first beginning of the formation of the modern day periodic table. So this was the main credit goes to this Mendeleev, and he has started giving you the concept of periodic table, which was being later on developed as modern periodic table. Okay, so the fundamental properties also plays an important role, which was this chemical property. Okay, so when this Mendeleev, see, some history of this Mendeleev is also given here in your book, so I'll just quickly read this out. So he was born in the West Indies, in West Siberian Russia, as he was a Russian scientist. So he was born in Russia. Okay, so next is that on 8th February 1834, after his early education, this person, Mendeleev, could join the university only due to the efforts of his mother, dedicating his investigation his mother, and he wrote. So he instructed with example, corrected with love, and travelled with me to the places, spending her last resources and the strength. She knew that with the aid of science without violence, with love but firmness, all the superstitions, untruths and the errors can be removed. So this was the letter which his mother has and he, both of them, they have written together so that the studies could go on in the higher institutions like the university where he wanted to go. So this was a very beautiful line that she instructed with the example, corrected with love, and travelled with me places, spending her last resources and strength. This person has dedicated his work to his mother because she was the only asset with him. Okay, and she knew that why, because his mother was having very much confidence on him, and she was very confident about his studies, about his work, and she told that she knew that when with the age of science, without violence, with love but firmness, all superstition, untruth and errors can be removed. So this last line is really very inspiring because this is the real fact that science is different from other subjects. We cannot relate science with other subjects because the very basic difference is that you could prove the things literally. Okay, so you could prove the things, but in other subjects you cannot prove the things in life. So here he has also said that with the facts, with the ideas of science, he could remove all the superstitions and the untruths which are present in the world. Okay, so the arrangement of the elements he proposed was known as Mendel's periodic table. So this was dedicated to his finding by calling it out as the Mendel's periodic table. Fine. Next thing is that the periodic table was proved to be it was unifying principle in chemistry, and then it was motivation for the discovery of new elements. So that is why we take this in consideration, and we take this as an important form of the periodic table, because this was the very first and the correct form of classification which gave the basis to the findings of the new modern days periodic table. Now when Mendeleev started his work, 63 elements were known. Now the last person who was that Newland, he was having only 56. Now see, the discovery discovery continued, and the element reached up to 63 now. So when Mendeleev started his work, 63 elements were known. He examined the relationship between the atomic masses of the elements and their physical and the chemical properties. So he didn't ignore the physical and the chemical properties also. So physical properties and the chemical properties both were in consideration. So both were really very important for him. So he has taken physical and the chemical properties. Okay, so now this was again a concept that if the things are related, not only the atomic mass, it is the chemical and the physical properties are also interrelated in these elements. So he found that 63 elements are present. Now these 63 elements, how it could be classified? So he there he classified, he made the basis again on the basis of this atomic masses. Again, the chemical properties, Mendeleev concentrated the compounds formed by the elements with oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, he selected hydrogen and oxygen as a very reactive and can form compounds with each and every element. Now, if he has taken the chemical properties and the physical properties, he has also taken up the things that with the reaction of hydrogen and oxygen. He has taken two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, because most of the elements could react with this hydrogen and oxygen and form compounds. So as he has taken the properties of the chemical properties, so he made the basis that if the element is reacting with hydrogen and oxygen, that also became one concept regarding the classification of Mendeleev. Okay, so now what he said, he selected hydrogen and oxygen as they are very reactive to form compounds. So this hydrides, I mean the hydrogen and oxygen plays an important role in his periodic table. Why? Because he said that the oxygen and hydrogen are these two elements, they are very reactive with the other elements. So he made the basis also, because chemical properties he has taken. Then he found that if these elements are able to find bind and make compounds, so it also will be present in the table. Okay, so he found that he formulated for the hydrides means the formula for hydrides and oxides were also formed in his element, okay, in his according to his elements which he has classified. Now because hydrides and oxides were formed as treated as one of the basic concept of the elements for classification. Now he took 63 cards. On each card he wrote down the chemical properties of one element. Okay, he took one card, he has made one card on which he has written the chemical properties of one element, and he put them all together. He pinned all the cards together on the wall. So this was the beauty of his classification, you could say, that he has taken a card and he wrote all the chemical properties and physical properties, all the relationship of the study of one element was placed on one card, and he placed 63 cards on the wall. And now what has on each he wrote the properties of element of one element. Okay, he then sorted out the elements with similar properties and pinned these cards together on the wall. Now he found that are there any similarities in among the elements. So he found that there are certain properties, there are certain similarities between the different elements. So he pinned down, he collected all those cards together and he placed all these cards in one line. Okay, so he sorted out. So he placed it in another one group. So now what has happened? He observed that most of the element got in place. So he found that he started arranging, means according to the basis of the chemical properties where he started arranging, that was that means he could arrange even 63 elements. So there was no, actually there was a concept, means that he found a way to classify the elements now. So he started arranging and he also got success in arranging these 63. All the elements were arranged till the time 63 elements were found, and he could arrange all these elements by writing the things on the cards and putting them in one slot. Now he sorted out the elements with the similar properties and pinned them together on the wall. He observed that most of the elements got placed in the periodic table and it was arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses. So he was not, firstly he was not he was not arranging the things on the basis of atomic masses. He just took the chemical properties and wrote it on a card. Now when he arranged the cards according to the according to the chemical properties, it automatically got arranged according to their increasing order of their atomic masses. So he observed that when there occurs a periodic classification is there, reoccurrence of the elements with the similar physical and the chemical properties are also there. On the basis of Mendel's formulated a periodic table, he stated that properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic masses. So here he has given the fact that yes, there is a relationship between the atomic masses of these elements as well as their physical and the chemical properties. Okay, so that is really very important, and that was the real basic concept regarding which the elements were classified. Okay, so one of the classification is given there in the this NCERT book, in your book, and you could see that periodic table of Mendeleev is also present in the diagram in the form of table. Now he found that he could arrange the elements according to the physical and the chemical properties, and he made some groups. Okay, and the group name, he named the group into two columns, and he has written the names and the formula, which was means it was related with the formation of hydrides and the formation of the oxides. So these two were also related with these two were also present at the top as a heading of his classification. And he saw that this was arranged in two groups, A and B, and the first period was about the hydrogen was started, and then it was the properties, all these relations means the elements were classified according to the physical and the chemical properties, and he has also made one table where the groups were made and the columns were vertical columns and horizontal groups were arranged. Okay, and then he found that his modern day periodic table was published in German journal and in 1872. The formula of oxides and hydrides at the top of the columns, the letter R is used to represent. So he has given the formula for writing the R2O
Okay, he has given the different ways by which the elements are forming the compounds. If it was forming the oxide with the formula of R2O or RH, so this R was the element. Okay, here R stands for element, which was given at the top of the heading. Fine, R2O, and then second was RO and RH2. So he has given the group as A and B, where the elements were able to able to be reacting with oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, so different forms of formulas of hydrides and oxides were given. Then the third column was R2O2. So he has given in Roman numbers also, first, second, third groups. And next, fourth group was having R2O2 and RH4, then RH2. Similarly, the different other groups were also made, and he made till seventh group. Okay, and in the seventh group R2O7 was there and RH. So this was the fact where these elements were classified, and according to this he has made the different his periodic table was also very much the very first basic periodic table. Now what has happened, that he used the letter R for denoting these elements. Okay, now this way he has written, as the hydrides of carbon is CH4, he has written RH4, and the hydrides of carbon dioxide is RO2. Okay, so he has given the example as carbon was able to be forming the oxide as CO2, so this was given as RO2. Okay, so in the fourth column it was RO2. Okay, so here he placed this carbon dioxide. So he made the formula according to the way by which these elements were able to relate its properties with oxygen and hydrogen, means oxides and hydrides were formed. Now this was all about the periodic classification of Mendeleev, and we'll study with the modern day periodic table in the next class, children. Before that, I'll discuss about the merits and demerits of his table. Okay, so that was all about today's video. I'll meet you all in the next video with the next topics to be discussed.